Yellowstone might be over, but the franchise continues to expand as 1923 Season 2 blesses us with new episodes every week, with more prequel and sequel series on the corner. And as you can guess, with each show and even with each episode, we get new information on the Duttons, learning who ends up with whom and who gets to be the grandparents of modern-day Duttons. So with all this new information at hand, it's time to take a fresh visit to the Dutton family tree and set the record once and for all until the next major update. As many of you know, it all begins with James Dutton, who is the patriarch of the family in the first prequel series, 1883. James, alongside his wife Margaret, led their family westward in search of a better life. The path was far from easy though, with danger and hardship awaiting them at every turn. In fact, it wouldn't be so wrong to label James as the ultimate protector in the Dutton family tree, as without his guidance and resistance to the hardships, there was no way that the Duttons would have managed to settle in this land. He laid the foundation for everything that came after him, so basically his legacy shaped everything the family would endure in the future, for better or worse. Do you think the Duttons would have ended up in Montana anyway, even without James? Let me know what you think. In 1883, Elsa Dutton, who is James and Margaret's daughter, was the heart of the family. At the beginning of the show, Elsa was young and full of life. Naively, she believed in the possibility of a bright future. And yet, we all know that her life was tragically cut short. Even though I adore her as a character, I think we should all admit that her untimely death was the one that shaped the entire trajectory of the Duttons. She got buried in the Yellowstone land, and the pain of her loss echoed throughout the Duttons' history. When we transition to 1923, we meet Jacob Dutton, who is James' brother and the new patriarch of the Dutton family. Jacob and his wife Cara take the reins after the tragic events of the earlier generation. They step up to protect the family ranch during a time of immense upheaval. I mean, it is right after World War I, so you can't imagine the difficulties of their environment. Jacob and Cara basically raise Spencer and John Dutton Sr., who are Elsa's brothers, as if they are their own children. Unfortunately, John Dutton Sr. is killed in the early episodes of 1923. After his death, his wife Emma Dutton unalives herself, leaving their son Jack as an orphan. I know you guys get angry at me for saying unalive, but blame YouTube, not me. Anyway, Jack gets married to Elizabeth. Even though they tried to have children, they can't have any. And to this day, we're not sure if they will eventually have a child who will grow up to be John Dutton II or not. And then there's Spencer, who is basically the leading character in 1923. He fought in World War I and returned home with the scars of war. He struggled to reconcile his past with his present, so despite the family legacy to protect the ranch, he leaves Montana and moves to Africa as a lion hunter. There he meets Alexandra. They fall in love and get married. Unfortunately though, due to a series of dire incidents, they are forced to get separated. If you want to learn more about them, make sure to watch my reviews of 1923. Anyway, as of season 2 of the series, we know that Alexandra is pregnant, meaning that she's likely to be the grandmother of John Dutton. Yep, the iconic character portrayed by the Kevin Costner. Sorry Elizabeth, but I don't think you will be the one who gets to raise one of the greatest characters in the entire series. Speaking of John Dutton, let's talk about the modern faces of the Dutton family. John inherited the ranch from his forefathers, and his sole mission in life was to protect it. He gets married to Evelyn Dutton, but unfortunately Evelyn dies at an early age, which seems like a pattern with a lot of Dutton women at this point. With Evelyn, John has 4 children. Casey, who is the youngest of John's children, was a Navy SEAL before returning to the ranch. Casey is married to Monica, and together they have a son named Tate, who is basically representing the future of the Duttons. However, as of the Yellowstone finale, there is no more Yellowstone Ranch to protect, so at this point, I'm not sure what Tate represents, but let me know what you think. Beth Dutton, who is John's only daughter, is a character who holds nothing back. She's tough, cunning, and fiercely protective of her family. I know she has some annoying and problematic characteristics, but personally, she will forever be one of my favorite characters in the entire show. But let me know what you think of her. She's married to Rip Wheeler. Unfortunately, they don't have any children of their own, but with a brand new sequel series of their own lying ahead, it is suspected that they will officially adopt Carter. So perhaps in a few months' time, we will refer to Carter as the future of the Duttons as well. Who knows? Then there is Jamie Dutton, who is John's adopted son. Now, I know a lot of you guys do not like the idea of including Jamie as part of the family tree, but since he was raised as a Dutton, I'll forever see him as a Dutton. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments, but it is what it is. As many of you know, he got killed by Beth at the end of Yellowstone, and all that is left of him is his son, Jamie Jr., whose status as a Dutton is also questionable at this point, but let me know what you think. And of course, there is Lee Dutton, who is the eldest of the Dutton siblings. Unfortunately, we did not get the chance to get to know him very well because he was killed at the very beginning of the series. But with his inclusion, we complete the Dutton family tree. Watch this video for a detailed analysis of 1923 Season 2, Episode 3.